What's going on, y'all? We're back. As you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be looking at UFC title runs that I'm praying for in the upcoming future. Little spoiler alert by the thumbnail, Diego Lopez may or may not be on this list. You'll just have to stick around and find out. Let's get into it, starting off with flyweight. We got Michael Scott. I know, it's crazy. We got Michael Scott in the UFC before GTA 6. But for real, Steve Erceg, Astro Boy, is that guy at flyweight. This man is massive for that division, holds a lot of power in those hands. You don't see a lot of KOs in flyweight, and this man Erceg did my boy Matt Schnell dirty. But Matt Schnell is not really known for having the greatest chin, but still that left hook was nasty. But anyway, I want to see Steve Erceg back in the mix, back in title conversation. He kind of was just thrown into that fight because Pantoja didn't really have anybody to fight. I think Erceg had only had 2 or 3 fights in the UFC at that time. And honestly, I think if he gets another crack at it, he will win the belt this time. I think he did really well in that fight. A lot of people thought that he won. I think the only real difference in the fight was just the lack of experience. Pantoja has a lot more experience than Steve Erceg, and it showed. And I think that's ultimately why he got the win. But he has a big fight coming up next weekend at UFC 305 against Kai France. So we'll have to see how he does. If he gets a win there, he's right there in the mix to get another title shot. But we'll have to see. I think Steve Erceg, a.k.a. Michael Scott, is going to get that one done. But let's move on to the next division. We got bantamweight. I know this man is a former champion, but I want Petr Yan to run it back. I want to see this man with gold again. And even if he doesn't win it, I'm not too mad. I just really want to see Yan and O'Malley run that fight back. The whole world knows that Petr Yan won that fight against O'Malley. Obviously, super close fight. I don't think you can call it a robbery. I think people throw around that term way too often. But I do think Yan won the fight. I think the whole world also wants to see them run it back. But obviously these two are top-tier strikers. Might be the 2 best strikers in the whole UFC. But I want them to run this one back so bad. I know Petr Yan lost 3 fights in a row. I think it was Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, and Merab. But then he finally got back in the win column against Song Yadong. He might only be 1 win away from another title shot. So some of these aren't necessarily title runs, just kind of fighters I want to win the title again or fight for the title again. But I think it would be great if the UFC were to set up a fight with Figueiredo and Petr Yan for the next number 1 contenders fight. I do believe Umar Nurmagomedov has rightfully earned his number 1 contender spot. It sounds like Dana's already promised him that fight. So next in line, give me Yan versus Figgy for the new number 1 contender. But definitely want to see No Mercy back in there, back fighting for a title. Let's move on to featherweight. Yep, I definitely spoiled it. But I think the entire MMA community wants to see Diego Lopez as the featherweight champion. Obviously, we got Ilia Topuria, and he's going to be fighting Max Holloway at UFC 308. Stacked card, by the way. Unbelievably stacked. But Diego Lopez might only be 1 win away also. He's got so much hype, so much aura behind him. And he even has a fight coming up with Brian Ortega at UFC 306. And if Lopez were to beat Ortega, I would not be shocked at all if he's next in line for a title shot. But the featherweight division, there's a lot of fighters I want to see become champion. Really just anybody that's not Ilia Topuria. I would be super happy if Max Holloway was a champion. Obviously if Volk was a champion again. Or Diego Lopez. I'm super happy with any of those 3 guys, just not Ilia Topuria. Bro just gets on my nerves. He just won the belt. He's trying to tell people what to do. He acts like Max doesn't want to fight him. He's already talking about retirement. I get it. He might just be playing a role. And he is actually a pretty good villain, but he just gets on my nerves. But is Diego Lopez actually good enough to win the title? I don't know. Also, I do not know what's going on with Diego Lopez's belly button. But anyway, moving on to the lightweight division. This one's probably going to be an unpopular opinion. But at lightweight, I want to see Benoit Saint-Denis make a run at the title. This dude had so much aura, so much hype behind him going into the Dustin Poirier fight. A lot of people actually picked him to beat DP, which I thought was crazy. And I think he was even a pretty big favorite on all the sports books. But he got KO'd. It is what it is. I don't think he got fraud checked. Obviously, there's the whole conspiracy that he had staph. And it definitely looked like it. He gassed out, but that could just be because of his pace. This man's crazy. You can tell by his nickname. You can tell by the picture. This man's just a killer. This is another scenario where I don't really know how good BSD is. He has a fight scheduled with Renato Moicano. I know a lot of fans are going to be going for Moicano. I like Moicano too, but I want to see BSD really thrive. I want to see his aura reach its peak. I want to see him ride it all the way to the top. Pause. But BSD puts a lot of pressure on you when he's fighting. I mean, honestly, I just think he's cool. He's the god of war. He's a scary Frenchman. I think he could turn into a pretty big star in the UFC, and I'm here for it. But that's enough glaze for him. Let's move on to welterweight. I want to see Kamaru Usman regain that throne. A lot of people are saying, Kamaru Usman's washed. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Bro, stop it. I don't want to hear it. I think Usman is still that guy. I know he's, maybe 37, 38 right now. He's definitely getting up there. He's at the back end of his prime. I think he looked great against Khamzat Chimaev. Obviously, he even looked great in the first fight against Leon. He was winning the whole fight till he got caught with that beautiful head kick. That one still hurts me to this day. But even the trilogy with Leon Edwards, I thought that fight was a draw, honestly. But it is what it is. Mumble Mouth got the dub, of course. But I don't know. Is it just me, or do y'all want to see Kamaru Usman go out there, beat Belal Muhammad if he gets that opportunity? Which I don't even hate Belal Muhammad at all. I actually like him. He's been growing on me a lot the past couple months. But I want to see the Nigerian Nightmare regain the throne. I want to see him fight a guy like Shavkat defending his belt. Maybe against an Ian Gary, a JDM. I want this man to have 5 more title defenses. I want this man to pass GSP as the welterweight GOAT. Is it going to happen? No, but a man likes to dream. But Kamaru Usman is my welterweight pick. The welterweight division has a lot of exciting fighters, but I want the old head. I want the Nigerian Nightmare to get back on top. Oh my, pause. All right, let's just move on to light heavyweight. This one was kind of tough for me. I really, really wanted to put Yuri Prohaska, but we all saw what happened to him in his last fight. So we're going with Carlos Olberg. This dude's a beast. I think he's riding a 6-fight win streak in the UFC. He's a Dana White Contender Series alumni and winner. And this dude's really exciting. He's coming off a 10-second knockout against Alonzo Minifield, which was great. Obviously, he trains with Izzy. I'm a big Izzy fan, I like that. But he just seems like a good guy, honestly. That's really the main reason I picked him. He's an exciting fighter. He's a great guy. I mean, the division sucks. There wasn't really anybody else I wanted to pick. So we're going with Carlos Olberg here. I mean, as of right now, in that light heavyweight division, nobody probably is beating Poatan right now, and that's fine. I don't care. Poatan's biggest op right now is the allegations thrown his way. Whatever that girl's name is, the whole consensual allegations, whatever. That's a whole different topic. But we're going with Carlos Olberg as my pick for light heavyweight. I want to see this man beat another ranked contender like a Jamal Hill. I think a Khalil Roundtree fight would be so sick. But yeah, this man might be 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot, and I am not mad at that at all. Let's move on to heavyweight. Y'all may or may not know, I'm a massive Tom Aspinall glazer. I want this man to go down as the heavyweight GOAT. So if it was up to me, I would pick Tom Aspinall to retain his belt for the next 10 years. But we're not going to do that in this video. I'm actually going to pick somebody. But we're not going to do that. I'm actually going to pick somebody that's not the champion in this video. And honestly, I think there's only one real option. I think y'all will agree with me on this. It's Shamil Gaziev. I mean, bro, just look at him. He's got champion written all over him. Bro's 13-1 in the UFC. He only lost, bro, because he just wasn't ready for Rosenstrike. I talked to Shamil on the phone before. He just thought it was going to be an easy fight. He just wasn't prepared properly. His head just wasn't in a good place. He was just busy eating Burger King, risen bed shorties. Just classic Shamil, man. But anyway, I actually think Shamil Gaziev is a pretty good fighter. The heavyweight division is very lackluster. There is not a lot of talent in that division. You never know. We might see Shamil Gaziev just start running through all these contenders. He wasn't ready the first time, but second time's the charm. The next ranked contender he gets, he's going to run through him. He's only lost 1 fight in his career, and that's just because he wasn't locked in. But I got him right now. I told him don't let it happen again, and he understood. But Shamil Gaziev might be the champion by the end of 2025. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure to drop a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know which fighters you want to see make a run at the title. But yeah, I'm calling it right here. Shamil Gaziev is going to be champion by the end of 2025. We out.